The career I'm going to speak to you about today is that of a children's clinical supervisor. I spoke with Lori Olson, who is the owner, administrator, and children's clinical supervisor of the Developmental Disability Agency Excellence in Everyone in St. Anthony, Idaho. Lori told me that their working environment is a small DDA. They have only 10 full-time employees. It is a very family-friendly environment, which is probably helped by the fact that Lori and her sister own the agency together. They have allowed their children and their employees' children to be present at work as long as they're not interfering with the activities of the clients. Typical stressors of the job include working for the state. The paperwork is tedious and state requirements change frequently. The state level managers have their own sets of goals, and also they each want things done their own way. So there's a lot of learning to do things the way the specific supervisor from the state wants it this month. Keeping employees has also been a challenge for them. There's not enough reimbursement from the state, especially for the habilitative support workers. That is a job where the workers go into the homes and the community with children who have disabilities. They are required to use their own transportation. They're not reimbursed for transportation, and the pay is minimum wage. So keeping those workers is always a challenge for them. She did say that rarely are the clients and their families a stress in the job, that they are the joy of the work. There are no typical benefits. The state of Idaho does not reimburse the disabilities agencies enough for them to give benefits to their workers. The benefits of this job are the clients. Typical job tasks for a children's clinical supervisor include paperwork, and more paperwork. Phone calls, state meetings at the state capitol, communications with families, supervising and training of employees who are in the trenches, and coordinating family schedules. The education requirements for a children's clinical supervisor in the state of Idaho include a bachelor's degree in education, special education, marriage and family studies, or any family-related field. Idaho requires a course completion and a state certification as a children's developmental specialist. Continuing education is required, although the exact requirements change regularly. Lori suggested that if we desired a career as a children's clinical specialist, that we just plan to continue to have our education and classes continuing for the rest of our career. Starting salary in the state of Idaho is about $29,000, experience salary about $35,000 a year. The work environments vary between the disability agencies. Some agencies are more interested in the bottom line dollar figures than they are in the clients. Some agencies have better ethical standards than other agencies. The level of honesty and ethical treatment of the clients varies from agency to agency, and Lori strongly suggested that in applying for this type of position that we find a DDA that meets our own ethical standards, or we will find ourselves very unhappy in our work. I hope this has helped you to understand a little bit about a children's clinical supervisor.